Hello and welcome to Talking Interesting. I'm Alvin, and today we're diving into a mind-bending topic that gets its toes wet in science, philosophy, and just plain imagination. Are we living inside a simulation? It might sound like science fiction, but the idea that our reality could be a highly sophisticated computer program is taken seriously by philosophers, physicists, and even tech visionaries like Elon Musk. Today, we'll explore the origins of this theory, why it's so compelling, and what it means for our understanding of reality. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, you're in for a fascinating ride. To find out where this theory came from, we need to go back in time to 2003, when philosopher Nick Bostrom wrote a paper called "Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?" In it, Bostrom speculated that one of three possibilities must hold true. Human civilization will die out prior to the post-human stage. Civilizations won't simulate their predecessors. We are extremely likely to be living in a simulation. Wait, what? Why would that third option even be a possibility? Bostrom's argument is that if it is possible for advanced civilizations to create enormous simulations of their ancestors, they would create billions of them. So statistically, the odds are higher that we are living in one of those simulations than that we are living in the base reality. Think of it this way. You've got one original painting and 1,000 great copies. There's a good chance in your hand is the original work. The same here. We could be only one of a multitude of simulations in some supercomputer pre-human. Before you dismiss it as pure science fiction, observe the following. Some of the world's best physicists consider this idea seriously. Elon Musk, for instance, has famously claimed that there's a 1 in a billion chance we're not in a simulation. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson has stated, chances are more than 50-50 that the world we live in is a simulation. But why would anybody suppose this is possible? One reason rests on technology. Think of the way that video games have developed today. Open-world simulations like The Sims or Grand Theft Auto. Such virtual worlds are getting more and more complicated and realistic. Every year, think of a world in which technology has progressed so far that simulation becomes indistinguishable from actuality. If humans ever reach that point, and if they choose to have ancestor simulations, it would make the simulation hypothesis much more probable than we'd like to consider. If we are simulated, are there indications? Some of its supporters mention strange phenomena. For example, the concept of the Mandela effect, where many people remember things differently, has been some interpreted as simulation bugs. One striking observation is the nature of fundamental physics. A few physicists noted that the universe, when simplified to its fundamental building blocks, resembles a computer program. Theoretical physicist James Gates found what appear to be error-correcting codes buried in the math of supersymmetry. Let it register. Somewhere in the middle of existence might be some kind of code, in the same way we do it in software. Even the idea of quantum mechanics, the unpredictable and probabilistic nature of particles, could hint at a simulated reality. Think about video games. The software only generates the environment you're actively looking at, to save processing power. Similarly, particles in quantum physics only assume a definite state when observed. Coincidence? Maybe. Or it could be a sign of limited computational resources. Suppose, as an exercise in imagination, that we do exist in a simulation. How does it affect our life? Should we think or behave differently because of it? Philosophically, this is testing our definition of existence and purpose. If we're simulated, then would that imply our lives aren't as meaningful? Some might claim so based on the theory that simulated consciousness would be truly artificial. Others challenge that even if we're simulated, what we experience, how we feel, and the things we do are real to us. To that extent, does it really matter then? There's also a moral dimension. If our actions are observed or even controlled, does that affect free will? Would moral choices be less genuine if they're part of a prearranged program? These are some of the issues philosophers have been debating for decades, and the simulation theory adds a new spin to the old free will versus determinism debate. You might be wondering, can we prove we're in a simulation? Unfortunately, that's the catch. There have been efforts by scientists like trying to find limits on the universe's computational ability or finding resolution limits such as pixels on a digital image. But so far, nothing concrete. Another suggestion is to look for cosmic glitches or anomalies in the underlying constants. If the simulation was being tweaked or upgraded, we might catch reality in the act of changing. But even if we did see such evidence, how could we account for it? It might just as easily be caused by physics beyond our understanding. Whether or not we're actually in a simulation, contemplating the idea forces us to question our perception of reality. It challenges us to think critically about our world, our purpose, and our place in the universe. And in a way, that's what makes the simulation hypothesis so fascinating. Even if it is the case that we are in a base reality, the fact that we can comprehend and reason about such a possibility inherently is deeply human, our eternal wish to understand the nature of existence. Thanks for joining me on this intellectually stimulating journey. If you enjoyed this episode of Talking Interesting, don't forget to subscribe and comment. What do you think? Are we living in a simulation, or is reality what it seems? I'd love to hear your opinion. Until next time, keep questioning and stay curious.